join us at a very exciting time as our three brilliant finalists are preparing for their toughest test yet.
The pressure's on. Welcome to the final of Portrait Artist of the Year.
Throughout this series, we've seen a stellar cast of celebrity sitters.
Hello, hi everybody.
Have a seat.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you all.
Somebody out there thought I would come as a character from a Gilbert and Sullivan operetta.
I'm vain. Just make me look as wonderful as possible, please.
They held their pose for 72 artists, from experienced professionals to emerging talent.
You seem young. How old are you?
I'm 16.
You're 16.
Yeah.
That's very, yes.
I'm going.
And were challenged to create their best portrait in 4 hours.
Here you've gone quite large. What was behind your thinking?
I've got a big head.
Will you please turn round your easels?
Oh, holy monkeys, Batman. It's quite an emotional experience, isn't it?
They are all so brilliant.
Having given it their all at the semi-final,
I can't paint any faster than this.
our finalists were chosen.
I think we found three really spectacular artists.
Callum Stevenson. Christos Saris. Mark Oliver.
I'm in the final.
And now they're within touching distance of this year's prize.
Shall I panic?
Well, I mean, it would be good for us if you could. Thank you.
A £10,000 commission to paint world-renowned violinist Nicola Benedetti for the Scottish National Portrait Gallery.
With today's portrait and an extra commission painting to be considered,
I don't think we've ever had three big surprises like this before. I am almost lost for words.
which artist will come out on top?
The winner of Portrait Artist of the Year is...
The artists return to Battersea Arts Centre for the last time and discover it's been transformed for their final sitter.
Whoa.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm deaf. It's got to be drag, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be theatre or
Yeah.
drag.
Very
There's no-
theatrical, yeah. Yeah.
I don't envy the artists on the final. I mean, it is such an extraordinary day of painting. We've got an incredible sitter for them, an amazing set. But I feel for them because the pressure's really on.
It's a massive occasion today, so I want to make the best work I can and do something really good.
This feels different. I think the atmosphere has a more brooding quality to it. But yeah, Callum and Christos, both extremely worthy competitors. It's tough competition.
I'm a very competitive person, and it means a lot to be in the final, as long as I win, obviously.
I'm very excited about today's three finalists. There's a strange brotherhood there, which is really rather sweet, but they're also out to win it. So it's going to be a very tense day and a very exciting final.
Mark, Callum, Christos, welcome to the final. Congratulations on getting this far. Now, there are very few artists and performers whose life and work can genuinely be described as unique, and your sitter today is certainly one of them. He's an actor, comedian, writer, and artist, but he's best known through his series of extraordinary alter egos. In her role as chat show host, Dame Edna Everage has kept everyone from Prince Charles to Hollywood royalty in their place. Through Australian cultural attaché Sir Les Patterson, he has spread art and saliva in equal measure. Please welcome Barry Humphries.
Brilliant.
Hello.
How you doing, Barry? How about that?
I'm wearing plenty of colour for you lads.
Yeah, is this a standard daytime attire? Or?
I've taken to wearing bright colours. As the lights slowly dim in my life, I'm getting brighter and brighter.
OK, good. So this is not your first portrait, is it, Barry?
No, I've been painted a lot of times. David Hockney painted me a couple of years ago in Los Angeles.
No expectation there, then.
Are you looking forward to it?
Very much, because I'm a painter in my own way. A very good one, actually. And I always wanted to be an artist. And now I'm a theatrical caricaturist. But that's another form of portraiture, isn't it?
Yeah.
But how are you going to sit today?
Perhaps legs crossed.
Do you feel like that's 4 hours doable?
How long?
4 hours.
They told me I'd be through by 11 o'clock.
Well, artists, we've done our bit to give you a gift of a sitter. It's up to you now to do him justice. You have 4 hours to complete your portraits. Good luck. Your time starts now.
OK. Can you keep that distant pose and hold that? That looks great.
Without moving your head, you can just look in the camera. Thank you.
Taking photographs is an important part of many artists' process.
I'm going to take a couple and then I'll maybe decide which one I like the most.
Not just as a reference for their painting, but as a way to get familiar with their sitter's personality and expressions.
Barry's he's a very interesting character, and he's got this cheeky look as well, and we'll see how it goes.
Callum, who's your favourite painter? Portrait painter.
Favourite portrait painter? Maybe Francis Bacon?
The last time I saw him was in the pharmaceutical department at Harrods.
Oh, you've met him?
Buying vitamins.
Wow.
And he said, don't tell anyone you saw me here.
That's amazing.
Mark, I don't want to take all the credit, but we've given you one hell of a sitter and a set
Yes,
here. Are you
certainly
happy?
have. Wonderful. I feel like I've known Barry all my life, really. He's an incredibly funny guy. There's something about that kind of, dare I say, clown about it.
Yeah. Colour, personality, you know, there's a lot going on. And with all the feather boas spilling out of the closet.
Yeah, well,
Mark?
Yes.
Do you want me to do anything in particular?
Yeah, you can come over here and paint this.
An award-winning illustrator, Mark Oliver first impressed the judges with his use of geometry in his submission and his heat painting of broadcaster Chris Packham.
It's an interesting balancing act of being realistic and stylistic, and it comes together very forcefully.
His semi-final portrait of Pink Floyd drummer Nick Mason showed consistency in style and method.
What Mark has done is allow us to understand the face through these geometric lines, and we get to see more of these interesting marks that he makes. So we know you're really confident in this language that you've created. I think what's interesting is it's always a negotiation, isn't it, between the organic shapes that you're seeing in front of you and then also the geometry.
Yeah, I usually start with just trying to create a kind of a geometric map, really. It's an exercise in connecting islands, destinations to each other.
Interesting.
And then building in between. But there's always a danger of rushing at this stage because you want to get painting.
Yeah, but don't rush this stage. No rising panic.
No rising panic, OK, thank you.
Just go with the flow.
While Mark is sticking to his tried and tested approach, Christos has decided to step out of his comfort zone and do something new.
Christos, it's a final, and you're painting the smallest head I've ever seen you paint. Tell me what's going through your mind.
No idea.
I mean, obviously...
I made a mistake. No. Initially, I thought I need a good-sized head so I can concentrate on that. But I realized it was a bit boring, you know, just the head. So I thought, you know, I'd just put more of the body and background in.
I love the fact that your paintings are getting more and more complicated. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it's a final, isn't it? It has to be my best painting ever.
Professional artist Christos Saris won his heat having created an atmospheric painting of broadcaster and author Emma Dabbery.
I love the mood that Christos has managed to catch. It's soulful, melancholic. It's beautiful.
His semi-final portrait of Nick Mason cleverly combined detail with loose, expressive brushstrokes.
Christos feels like a controlled explosion. The face is so finely won. And then there's loads of parts of it which are totally bonkers. So that makes Christos really interesting to me, but it's a risky way of painting.
Now, you like making very abstract marks.
Yeah. I mean, normally I just throw stuff on it, but, you know, today I want to keep it under control. So once I get a good likeness, then the background could be a lot looser.
Now, you've interestingly got him looking at us.
So far, all the portraits I've done, the sitters looking somewhere else. I just wanted that connection.
Well, it's quite nice that you're doing something different, and I look forward to how it evolves.
Thank you.
It may be reassuring for artists to get some paint on the canvas in the first hour, but the priority for Callum is to ensure his drawing is completely accurate.
So it's the battle of precision against the sort of more expressive artists that you've got on either side of you.
I definitely feel like I'm the more precise, but doesn't necessarily mean better, of course.
You've got to be strong today. I want to hear that fighting spirit, honestly.
I'll try.
OK.
23-year-old Callum Stevenson painted actress Kelly MacDonald at the Heats and impressed the judges with his meticulous approach.
Callum got Kelly's eyes, and you could see it was Kelly. That was extraordinary. And everything is absolutely spot on.
He progressed through the semi-final, having produced a sensitive portrait of drummer Nick Mason against a blank background.
The white actually helps the portrait sing, and it is such a fine portrait.
One of the things that you brought really well to your other portraits was this technical precision, but at the same time you managed to find a sort of a human, poetic touch.
Yeah.
How are you going to find that with Barry today?
There's something about the eyes. There's a lot to see in them, and I want to capture that.
So today, is it all about this portrait, or is it all about your commission that you've got lurking in the wings to bowl us over?
I'd say the commission might have a big part to play because it's very different from everything I've done in the 4 hours.
Well, you know what us judges like. We like consistency, but we also like variety.
Right.
So it sounds like...
it's certainly a variety.
OK, good. I'm looking forward to it then.
Yeah.
The artists are 1 hour into their final portrait challenge.
Yeah, it's going okay. I'm just blocking in some colours, and I'm looking forward to this pink jacket. It's got some really lovely lines, so I really want to make that a feature.
I've just started painting and I'm getting the eyes in, which is really important, so captivating. And I want to capture that because I want that draw of the eyes.
Obviously, you look like you're very focused on what you're doing, but this is a competition. You're up against Callum and Mark. Are you worried?
Yeah, I am worried. But at the moment, I just want to concentrate, just try and do my best.
Yeah, sure.
Why, shall I panic?
Well, I mean, it would be good for us if you could.
Panic?
Yeah. Thank you.
Our finalists have been painting comedy icon and landscape artist Barry Humphries for just over an hour.
Mark, are you in London?
No, I'm down the south coast near Brighton.
Good light.
It is.
Have you got a dealer?
No? Do you know one? You can put me in touch.
They're all scoundrels.
Ty, could we have a more perfect sitter for a final?
Yeah, I think our artists today have got really lucky. I mean, the choice of clothing is extraordinary. And of course, his alter egos are sort of strewn symbolically around him. But I do want to get the sense of the real Barry Humphries. And what is interesting about Barry Humphries is there's a wicked edge to the man.
Yeah.
And I think it's also visible in his resting face. And some of the artists have really picked up on that. So that's very good that they've caught that.
It's interesting that we've got one head, one medium shot, and then one wide. They've gone 3 different approaches today.
And it's interesting how very different those 3 shots make Barry appear. I think the one on the right, he looks rather like a Bond baddie. And that's kind of interesting. I hadn't seen that in him, but now I absolutely could see him acting one.
Wouldn't
very
you love
well.
to see Barry play a Bond baddie?
It'd be fantastic, yeah.
OK, now, we go back a long way. We go back as far as the 1960s, when you were first over here from Australia, and you were trying out a character called Edna.
I was. I invented her really to describe my mother's friends. And when I came to London, it was the first time I dared to present Edna on a British television programme.
And you never look back. How is she now?
Well, she's exactly the same.
She hasn't aged.
Her views remain more or less the same, though she considers herself. You see, you're a legitimate dame, Joan, but I'm afraid there's a few questions about the legitimacy of Edna's damehood. She has met the monarch, but the monarch actually hasn't confirmed the damehood.
You've had your portrait painted many times.
I have, Joan. I've been entered in competitions, like cucumbers and fruitcake.
So we have 3 finalists. Is there something you'd like them to capture?
I'd like them to capture the fact that I'm a person who is grateful for the life I have, because I wasn't always like that. When I first met you, I was a bit wild and uncertain. And about 4 marriages later, I think I've mellowed a bit.
We've both mellowed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dame Joan Bakewell.
A good portrait should reveal a sitter's personality. But that can be tricky when your subject plays host to so many different characters.
I mean, you know Barry so much as Dame Edna and more Liz Patterson. I remember the trousers, but all his egos are in there somewhere, aren't they? And so it's interesting to paint Barry, because Barry doesn't normally appear as Barry.
Barry's very entertaining, and he doesn't take himself seriously, obviously. So that makes you relaxed. And the more you relax, the better result you get.
Callum, now I'm quite interested in Barry as a sitter.
He's just so funny. I mean, his character is spreading around the room, and it's trying to capture that.
Now, at the semi-final, you were contemplating putting the background in.
Yeah.
And you didn't. Is that sort of background decision still to be made in this painting?
In terms of the last one I'd done, the colour in the background was going to clash with the face a little bit, but I would like to do it, and I probably will do it. Possibly. Something.
I can tell you're not going to do it. Anyway.
No, I totally might. So
well, look, I'm intrigued.
So our brotherhood of painters, I mean, they're all off to a really good start. I suppose in a way we're in a comfortable position because we feel like we've got 3 artists who have very distinct styles. Callum's just all about the clarity and luminosity of that painting, whereas Christos has got all these lovely expressive gestural marks, and Mark's got the geometry. So there's something kind of safe in that. But at the same time, we're never really looking for 100% safety, are we? We do want a bit of risk-taking.
And they've got to please all 3 of us with our slightly differing tastes. But, you know, ultimately, we have to pick an artist who we feel can produce something that we're going to be proud of within a national collection.
As well as today's portraits of Barry Humphries, another portrait will be taken into consideration. After the semi-final, we tasked our artists to create a painting of someone they know very well.
Come on in, Babs. Ready.
Go. Each artist began their process in a location relevant to their sitter. Mark has chosen his 19-year-old stepson, Reuben, whom he'd raised since he was 8 years old, and taken him to Worthing Beach, where he goes busking with his guitar.
I just need to get some pictures of you.
OK.
Playing doing your thing. Can you kind of look up?
Yeah.
I know it's right into the sun.
My appetite for you waned a year before you knew.
Reuben's an interesting character. He's quite a restless, creative spirit. He plays the drums, he plays guitar, he plays keyboards, and he makes films. So he's really quite an energy. So to paint something still and capture something of his energy, that's going to be interesting. A bit more serious as well.
Sorry.
Near his home on the Trellick Tower estate in London, Christos is gathering ideas to paint his 14-year-old son, Max, who loves riding his bicycle around this part of the city.
I just want you to scream like you've never screamed before. Ah! I wanted to paint Max because he is growing every day. Like last night, he was 2 inches shorter. This morning, I just couldn't believe it. He's taller than me. And all this change, I have to capture it. I like that. Yes, this is the one, I think.
In Bonnybridge, Scotland.
So, Kelsey, if you just hold that pose and kind of look at me a little bit.
Callum has chosen to paint his girlfriend of 9 years.
You're a TV chef. So Kelsey is an accountant and she is also an avid baker. She likes to go hill walking, running, and I don't know how she manages to fit it all in because her work is very demanding. I just find it very motivating to watch her day to day. She's a very inspiring person.
As well as taking photographs, preliminary sketches are usual practice for an artist before starting a new portrait.
That's quite good there. Are you comfy?
Yeah.
So, Kelsey, what would you like to see in a portrait of yourself?
It's quite interesting to see what you come up with because I don't know how you see me, so I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like, I do really like your stuff and you're definitely meant to be an artist. Couldn't see you doing anything else.
I'll put that on my CV.
All right, you happy? Not too cold?
No, fine. How confident are you just to kind of sit down with a notepad like that and then just draw?
Generally sketching, it's a private thing. And of course, it is a time to make mistakes. Comparing it to you, how does it feel when you've written a song to then take it out and play it in front of people?
I kind of try to go into my own world. And whether or not other people like it, I feel like that's quite something for me.
Handstand?
Yeah.
This is always going to be the issue with you, is that?
Or to move
keeping you still, yeah.
What is it about the bike that you like so much?
It's a nice feeling, really. It's just like you're in your zone.
It's a bit what I feel when I do my painting, I suppose.
Do you think you're going to win the competition?
I have to do it, yeah.
So you can take me on holiday.
Exactly. Right. Ready?
What? That's really good.
Yeah.
Can I keep it?
Yeah, you can have that.
Ready to see it?
Mm-hmm. Wow. I like how you've captured the way I'm sitting, you know. It feels like me. It makes me look forward to seeing what you'll come up with.
There you go.
Oh, that's really cool.
All right, so I think you're going to need to do some more.
But
yeah,
it's a great start. I think we can do some stuff.
Gee, thanks. I painted a portrait of Reuben in a box because I really wanted to represent that creative energy kind of held in and bursting out and emerging into the light.
I decided to paint Max on his bicycle because it's his passion. The hands are resting calmly and just looking nowhere, really, just looking at me and looking relaxed.
I've tried to capture an awake version of Kelsey, ready for the day, and a sleeping version in the same frame. Alongside that, you have some objects which are personal to Kelsey. I just thought it kind of made for a nice aesthetic.
The completed commissions will be revealed to the judges at the end of today's challenge. But in the meantime, the artists have 2 hours to finish their portraits of Barry Humphries.
I'm doing the background now. I do like the way it's looking at the moment. I think I have got the proportions right. So, yeah, I'm quite relaxed, actually.
I'm blocking in this jacket, getting some of the geometrical shapes and feelings in the folds because it's such a strong part of the image, but I don't want it to steal too much from Barry himself, so that might be a bit of to and froing.
I'm a little bit worried about time. I've got a lot to do. I've got half the face left, the hair, the body. I need to try and get that all in my painting. It's quite daunting, but I'm just going to do what I do normally and hopefully it's good enough.
The artists are 2 hours into their final challenge, painting comedian and writer Barry Humphries, who's ramping up the competition with a sketch of his own.
Mark, I don't want to alarm you, but have you noticed that Barry is drawing you.
It's good, it's good. I think we should find out what it feels like.
I mean, how often in your life has Barry Humphries drawn your picture?
Well, it's funny you should say that, but no, never. He was around our house last Saturday.
Was he? Can't get rid of him.
He's always outside the window there, peeping through the blinds.
Well, here we are, halfway through the final. We know they're good artists. Are they living up to their expectations?
I mean, they're not good artists, they're excellent artists. All three of them are doing really beautiful work.
OK, well, let's start with Christos. Barry's colour serves him well, doesn't he?
Yeah, the colour makes that painting, but also the scale. I mean, Christos has been quite brave in the scale that he's gone for. The composition's fab.
My problem is something rather sort of rigid or fixed about Barry's expression. I hope that will soften as the day goes on.
But I think he's caught that twinkle in Barry's eye rather brilliantly.
I think that fixed expression is quite important in holding the painting together because it's kind of a vortex of dynamic energy, and then you've got him like that.
OK, now, Callum couldn't be more different.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm watching some sort of sci-fi movie where the mask of the creature is slowly appearing without the hair, and then it all comes together so beautifully at the end.
And the rest of the drawing is extremely good, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's how Callum conceives of work. It is based on that scaffolding and perfect drawing. But once that is in place, there's a beauty to the way he puts paint on the panel. It makes it a beautiful thing to look at, as well as a psychologically very sort of in-depth sort of study of a person.
What about Mark?
I think Mark is always thinking about finding equivalents for what's in front of him and then what matches this interesting geometric language that he's conjured. I mean, I'm loving what Mark's doing with the jacket. It's like the jacket has become this sort of persona in and of itself. It's the colour combination that I'm slightly nervous about because you've got the kind of ruddy tones in the face and they're slightly clashing with the jacket. It's potentially not very flattering. I think there needs to be a bit more clarity in the colour.
Is there much for them all still to do?
Yeah, they've got to win Portrait Artist of the Year.
Have you got a favourite model?
Yes.
Do you paint nudes?
Yeah, I love to paint nudes, yeah, but I haven't painted any
It's too late
nudes.
for me to take my clothes off. As I sit here, I'm thinking about painting and how lovely it is, what a great pleasure it is to paint. I don't want to look at their work until it's all over, but I've seen some of their work, so it's a very equal contest.
Barry may not want to see the portraits so far, but some of the artists can't resist the temptation to size up the competition.
I like your work, man. It's going really well.
Thank you. I like yours. You're going to leave the background white?
No, I think I'm going to put it in, but I'm not sure what colour yet.
What do you think of Christos? He's
Yeah.
done so much.
He's done a lot of
Wow.
work.
I really like the expression he's got on Barry's face. It's really
he's
kind
so
of,
cheeky.
Mine looks kind of sinister.
Henchman-like.
Callum and Mark, they look good. I'm just trying not to think about their work. I'm just trying to think how to finish here.
Barry, you've turned the tables on them.
Because I'm such a good artist, I thought while they're painting me, I could be drawing them.
Right.
Until suddenly, it wasn't such a good idea after all.
Why wasn't it a good idea?
Because they're too hard to draw. Christos is a good subject.
Yeah.
But I've made him look like an old Greek woman.
Oh, look, the Greek woman has a... Yeah, look.
It's a good one of Mark, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, that's Mark on the left, yeah.
That's Mark.
He looks like he's committed some sort of unspeakable crime.
Art is an unspeakable crime.
In that case, there we go. What we should do is get the judges to critique your painting.
No, I don't trust those judges. Now, look, a
Yeah.
ropey lot.
Well, what can I say? Needs must.
No matter how skilled an artist may be at capturing the face, at some point they have to address how to deal with surrounding colours and textures. Now, Barry made a point of choosing very bright clothes.
Yeah.
You have to pay tribute to those. You
Oh,
have
yeah,
Howard's
definitely.
face.
I've got a little bit of them in there. They're very bright, so I think it's going to be enough.
It will give him a lot of character.
Yeah, exactly.
Christos, I love all these colours. They're sitting together in a really interesting way. You've got the echo of the fantastic dressing room behind.
Yeah, I couldn't ignore that and just do the face. But the head is blended kind of with the wardrobe behind. So I'm a bit worried whether or not I will be able to fix that. I mean, I suppose if I was David Hockney, I would.
You are our very own David Hockney, Christos.
The artists have less than an hour to go.
So things that need resolving are, firstly, this jacket, and there's more work to go into shirt and tie. Got to get the face right. Backgrounds, that needs to be blocked in more solidly. Still some work to do on the hair. There's good highlights across the top of his hair. If I seem calm, it's because I'm pedaling like crazy under the surface.
I'm just adding in the hair right now and a bit of the shoulders. It's going to be bright purple and green. Just trying to get things looking polished for the end. Time is ticking away, so I might end up with a white background. I'm a bit worried about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of finished. But I kind of like to do the hands a bit more, which I'm working on then at the moment. Like little details, like little, maybe a vein or something. Then also, I'm just looking at the basket and I find it quite interesting, and I've got space to put it there. So I'm just going to do that. Not really finished, am I?
Our artists are nearing the end of the competition, painting actor and legendary comic Barry Humphries. And with 20 minutes to go, there are still key decisions to be made.
Callum, we've been here before. It's nearing the end of the day, and we've got a white background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I do touch-ups or do I do a background?
And if you do a background, what colour do you take?
I would pick like a bluey colour from maybe the mirror, but then I don't want it to clash with the hair.
OK, well, you don't have long left,
Yeah.
so you do need to make a decision. It's in your hands.
Yeah.
I don't want to destroy it. Sometimes the wise thing is not to work anymore, but I will work. I'm just doing little details.
I'm mixing some background colours. Everyone is talking about it like I can't do one, so I'm like, I'm doing this.
Artists, you have 5 minutes left.
TikTok. I think I'm about done. The more I look at it, the more I can see things I would change and add. I'd like to have put more construction into the jacket, but I don't have enough time. Just want to put a few more marks in. Apart from that, I think I'm cooked.
Artists, your time is up. Your final challenge is over. Please put down your equipment and step away from your portraits.
Well done, Callum.
Barry, you can relax now.
I can't believe it.
So you've had a good day.
I've had a very interesting day because I love painters. And I have before me 3 of them. What their work is like, God only knows.
Well, we're going to see. OK, finalists, turn round your easels.
Very good. Well, I'd hate to be a judge here.
Take a closer look.
I think it's very, very good. You've brought out something that I had hoped would remain concealed.
What's that?
That my diet has failed. It's a handsome portrait. Thank you very much. Small scale, but very strong. It's how I see myself. That's me in a nice, friendly manner, you know. Some people think I'm rather cruel and inaccessible. And you brought that out very nicely. I think it's got a wicked look, and it has a bravura to it. Very, very nice.
Now you have a task, which is to choose one of these three.
Well, of course, I have to say that the choice is very difficult. But I think I have to settle for the smallest of all three. Callum's expert, fastidious portrait of this genial old comic.
Well done.
As well as examining the finished portraits of Barry Humphries, the judges at last get to see the artist's commissions.
You know, they said they were giving us something that was more ambitious. I mean,
I don't think we've ever had three big surprises like this before.
Really thrown me, totally. Should we go and have a look at Christos first?
Okay.
That must be Christos' son, and that penetrating look. Is it meant for us or his dad? It's kind of, because he is a boy just about to growing into a young man, isn't he?
it's that sort of transitional moment, isn't it? You feel the face is a child, but then you come towards these hands, and they're the hands of a fully grown man, and then you've got this incredible energy around it.
And we know Christos can do that. The hair, for example, which is barely there, it's an explosion of paint, but he kind of corrals it into this bit of reality. And again, he's done it today in his portrait of Barry, and I really like the way Christos can make marks that are so abstract but suggest something else, like in the clothes on the rail behind Barry's head.
I love the composition, I love the penetrating gaze. You know, if anyone can pull off a smirk and you still love them, it's Barry Humphries, and that beautiful background, which I'm really taken with.
It was a bit of a risky way to paint this portrait, because I included most of his body and the background. I hope that risk will actually be appreciated by the judges.
I think Callum may have quantum leaped into Portrait Artist of the Year from either the Dutch or Italian early Renaissance. And he's able to use this extraordinary technical facility he has for creating realism, but to do something which has a psychological grace and beauty and strength to it. This does so much more than a photograph.
Yeah, I am almost lost for words with this. I mean, if we ever needed an example of an artist who uses technology to create great portraiture, Callum's given us that, because it isn't just a slavish representation. There's so much more to it. You know, the use of light, the colour tones are beautiful, the construction, the composition.
I mean, it's meticulously worked, and somehow that feeling or the humanity comes through, and I think that's why he's turned up in the final, and that's why he's produced such a fantastic portrait of Barry today, where Barry felt himself in the portrait.
But actually, I will say that he painted the background in at the last stage, and thank goodness that he did, otherwise I would have given him a clip round the ear, because it was like, stop giving me a white background.
I'm happy with the work I produced. I feel like I've done the best I could do in 4 hours, so I can't really complain. What will be, will be.
I must say Mark's commission is less dynamic than we know from his other paintings during the heats and his self-portrait. It's more realistic.
But I do think it's dynamic in the sense that it's got a contained energy, you know, and you can see that the arms and the legs want to get out. And we don't usually get the opportunity to see an artist play with the constraints of that rectangular format.
Yeah.
I think that the trousers are the best piece of fabric we've had on Portrait Artist of the Year. You know, treated in Mark's geometric language, I love it.
That face coming forward, I mean, that intensity of the engagement, that light, that pain on the face, that is real humanity, which he often got in those really great saint paintings. And he carried the saintly theme over. You know, we've got this halo around Barry today as well. I felt like he didn't have enough time to sort of build the geometry that he wanted to find in that jacket. But, you know, I think he's got a lot of Barry there.
Today has been a ride, and I hope they can see what I was trying to achieve. Yeah, I hope I've done enough.
Well, it's not been a final day that's disappointed, has it? 3 really wonderful portraits. And then the bomb. The 3 bombs
They're bombs, but they're beautiful, big, joyous, artistic bombs. I mean, they've really, really pushed it.
The commissions are always interesting, aren't they? Because it's like making a friend at work, and then you see what they get up to at the weekend. And sometimes you're like, oh, don't like them as much anymore. And other times you're like, oh, wow, there's more to you than I thought.
Well, given that they are outstanding portraits, how on earth are you to come to any conclusion?
Well, it comes from here. It comes from here, and the person that we've gone with, I think, is someone that we are going to be very proud of.
So it's unanimous?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're all at peace with it?
Very
Wow.
much full of joy with it as well. And in the end, when we go to galleries, and that's the feeling we're always looking for in art, is this sense of being charged.
It's literally like, it's like parents at a wedding or a graduation or something. Proud. It's wonderful.
No wonder you're all smiling.
Yeah.
Christos, Callum, Mark, you are, all of you, without exception, outstanding artists.
But there can be only one winner, and the judges have made their decision. The winner of Portrait Artist of the Year is... Callum Stevenson.
Is this real? Okay. If you say so. I can't believe it. There's no way I could sum this up. I've somehow won. It's like madness. I can't believe it. Don't know what to say. It's just gobsmacked.
Well, this whole experience has been wonderful, and Callum's work is just beautiful. I mean, that commission work was just stunning, so I'd have picked him.
Well done. Well done. Well, it was a good experience. It's good to make it to the final. I'm upset that I lost, but Callum deserves it. I thought that he was going to win, actually.
I can't believe it, man.
Today was a phenomenal final. All three artists were just at the top of their game, and I find, as a fellow painter, I find joy because I realise portraiture is alive and it's got places to go to, and Callum has found places to take portraiture, which I didn't know existed.
Well done, Callum.
Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. I'm, like, vibrating, man.
Well, that's what we liked. I think we found someone really special in Callum. His work, it brings emotion, mood, humanity to it in a way that's fresh, and that's exciting.
This is a weird
Big deal, dude. It's like you're the winner now.
Yeah.
Callum's a magical artist. We still don't really understand how he's able to do what he does. I mean, what a day, what a winner, and I am so excited to see what Callum does next. Truly, honestly, this is just amazing.
Next time, we follow Callum as he gathers material for his portrait of world-renowned violinist Nicola Benedetti.
Have you got a plan of action?
Just paint it.
Right through to unveiling his prize commission for the Scottish National Portrait Gallery.